A spike of suicides in the region has local leaders working to help those in crisis. The effort to put a spotlight on suicide prevention. Plus, Kentucky lawmakers are preparing to head back to Frankfort. What they're planning to do about the Safer Kentucky Act.
Plus, we are tracking that next storm chance as early as tomorrow. Those details coming up as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
We are keeping an eye to the skies, especially tomorrow, with some strong to severe storms possible. First Alert meteorologist Cameron Aaron joins us now with the latest. Cameron.
Yes, Steve, I do want to stress no severe weather issues on your Wednesday. Some rain, absolutely, but no severe storms. That comes tomorrow. Up on First Alert Pinpoint Doppler this afternoon and this evening, we are tracking some more hit or miss rain showers. So if you have those plans, be sure to pack the umbrella. Zooming into a few heavier pockets of rain, pushing close to West Liberty for Morgan County, also near the Mountain Parkway from Slade to Campton for Powell and Wolfe counties. And same story for our friends in Magoffin County, moving into Floyd, also Johnson counties. Nothing severe, but a few heavier downpours not too far away. Those current temperatures are warm on this Wednesday. Most of us in the upper 60s to lower 70s, up to 69 for Pikeville, 65 in Clintwood, 71 for Jackson, also Grundy, and 66 in Somerset at this hour. But again, a first alert weather day is in place as we go into tomorrow for possibly a few strong storms. This is level 2, slight risk of severe weather from Mount Vernon to Hazard to Pikeville and back to the north. A level 3 enhanced risk over far northeast Kentucky, pushing into West Virginia, also Ohio. So we are watching out for possibly a few strong storms. The main timing 11 a.m. through 6 p.m. Not everyone will see severe weather, but a few showers and storms cannot be ruled out that are strong, and all modes of severe weather are on the table. That strong straight line winds, large hail, and possibly a few quick spin up tornadoes as well. More details on that storm threat coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. The conversation around mental health has grown during the last several years, with more resources and partnerships developing. In Pike County, officials tell WYMT's Buddy Forbes those resources are needed now more than people may realize.
Public health officials say the mental health crisis in Pike County seems to be expanding, so agencies and organizations are coming together to promote suicide prevention. Public Health Director Tammy Riley says in a span of 30 days, the county has recorded 8 deaths by suicide, saying there were only 8 total suicide deaths in the county last year. From a public health perspective, she says it makes officials worry the resources for help are not as visible as they could be. So the department is working with the county, Mountain Comprehensive Care Center, and other partners who put a spotlight on suicide prevention, reminding people about the programs available and the statewide 988 suicide and crisis line.
The reason it's important is that it's an easy number to remember. It's very difficult to search for and locate a 1-800 number when you're in the throes of an emergency.
Riley says if these programs and this 988 number can reach one person who feels like there's nowhere to turn, it's all worth it. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
If you or a loved one is in need of support, call or text 988 or start a chat conversation at 988lifeline.org. We'll have more about Pike County's push for prevention coming up at 6. Kentucky lawmakers are preparing to head back to Frankfort to finish this year's regular session. It's likely they will work to override gubernatorial vetoes and pass some new laws in the final 2 days starting Friday. As WYMT's Phil Pendleton reports, they will likely attempt to override the veto of the controversial Safer Kentucky Act.
That bill is House Bill 5, and some people say that it's going to deal more harshly with criminals and those who commit crimes with firearms, but some also fear the impact it's going to have on the local homeless population.
I think we lack resources in the state of Kentucky. I know there's definitely a lack for safe and affordable housing.
Jessica Luster says she sees people trying to make homes anywhere they can and says she fears House Bill 5 will essentially help make being poor a crime. But the street camping component being illegal is only part of that bill. Prosecutors like David Dalton say the legislation will treat crimes committed with guns more harshly and people will be punished much more severely.
A gun and a citizen in Kentucky after this statute, you're looking at 5 to 10 years in jail. Whereas before this, you were looking at 1 to 5.
There were a number of bills signed by the governor during this period, including the budget bills. However, the governor did use his line item veto power on some of those spending plans. There was also a bill signed that's going to set up a new research initiative with Kentucky's colleges and universities. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
The legislature will close out the regular session on Monday and must gavel out by midnight. President Biden announcing the first ever national drinking water standard for PFAS, protecting 100 million people from PFAS exposure. PFAS are found in a lot of our daily items, from some non-stick pans to various food and even water. They are called forever chemicals because they can take more than 1,000 years to break down. They've been linked to various health problems, including liver damage, thyroid disease, and even cancer. The Biden administration's announcement will devote an additional $1 billion to help every state and territory fund PFAS detection and treatment systems to meet the new standards.
For the first time in decades, we're setting a drinking water standard that gets those chemicals out, that makes sure that the utilities that you get the water from have rules of the road that can be enforced against, and you can have peace of mind. That's really important in terms of our public health, preventing massive illness risk, including cancer risk from these forever chemicals.
The program also falls under the Cancer Moonshot program, which has a goal of cutting the cancer death rate by at least half by 2047. The Department of Education is under fire for its bobbled launch of a new system for applying for college financial aid. Outraged lawmakers weighed the impact of the troubled launch of the new free application for federal student aid. The revised form is designed to be shorter and less complicated, but because of the late rollout and technical glitches, students facing a May deadline to choose their colleges are still waiting for answers about their financial aid. Advocates and school administrators sounded off at an House Education Committee hearing today.
We feel like we're flying blind without a clear path, and we have yet to release a single official aid offer, despite having released our admissions decisions.
The department estimates that 20% of the files that schools have are riddled with errors. And another 20% of the files on top of that, on average, don't have the numbers that the financial aid offices need to actually calculate any awards.
Because of the log jam, schools have started giving students extensions to make their college decisions. A Boeing whistleblower is talking after the FAA announced a probe into some of the company's wide-body planes yesterday. A Boeing engineer, Sam Salapour, alleges 777 jets could have damaged parts. He also says 787s could have improperly closed gaps in their bodies. The FAA is investigating new safety allegations involving Boeing Dreamliners. Those are different from 3 other Boeing models that suffered mid-air incidents this year. Salapour's attorney alleges he faced retaliation from Boeing before filing a complaint with the FAA in January.
I'm doing this not because I want Boeing to fail, but because I want it to succeed and prevent crashes from happening.
A Senate subcommittee is holding a hearing about the concerns with Boeing next week. The company has yet to comment on the whistleblower allegations about its 777 jets. Coming up on First at 4, it's costing more and more to send kids to summer camp. We'll share some tips on how you can cut those costs.
Plus, we stay soggy at times as we go into this evening and maybe a little bit stormy by tomorrow. Your forecast after this break.